Hey everybody, welcome to the Blue Collar Beer Gentleman. I'm Topher and I started this channel because I'm a fan of craft beer, but I'm also on a limited budget. So I am always looking for the best deals on beer, and I am trying to not only break through the elitism, but sort of demystify some of the complexities that come around craft beer. In today's selection, I paid $3.67 for, which is more than I normally pay, but it's also a pint can. And it is the formal Warnin Hazy IPA. It is a collaborative effort between, let's see, we've got to turn it, there we go, turn it this way, local craft brewery out of Tehachapi, California, and Revision Brewing out of Sparks, Nevada. Sparks, if you are unfamiliar, is actually in the Reno slash Carson City area. So you've probably heard of Reno. That's roughly the area of Sparks. Because there's not a whole lot in between Las Vegas and Reno. Reno and Sparks and Carson City area sort of get lumped in with the local crowds. So in fact, it's not uncommon to see Vegas beer drinkers saying "drink local" when drinking beer from outside of Vegas that's still within the confines of the state of Nevada. This beer has a 6.5 ABV. Typically, American IPAs come in between 5.5 and 7.5, so it's about mid-range. Has only 25 IBUs. Typically, an American IPA comes in between 40 and 70 IBUs, so it's actually low on the bitterness scale, but about mid-range for the booziness scale. Do not have a brewed on date or packaged on date, so I'm not entirely certain how old this beer is, but I don't think it's very old, and here's the reason for that. Because the beer reviewing community doesn't have a whole lot of reviews for it, period. Now, the interesting thing about this particular beer, as it is, as I said, it is a collaborative effort between local craft brewery and Revision. Each one of those breweries has their own listing for this exact same beer on Untapped. Now, if you go to the Revision listing, you will find that only one of my friends on Untapped under the Revision listing has checked in. Vinny Ferrara gave it a 4.0, very high score. At that same listing, 1,243 of us checked in, gave it a cumulative score of 4.02. Now, if you go to the local craft brewery here, the LCB listing, 0 of my friends have checked in. Only, what's the number here? What's the number? Only 673 of us have checked in on Untapped on that listing, but the cumulative score is 4.08. Now, Beer Advocate only had 9 listings or 9 ratings, so they aren't able to do a cumulative score. However, the average score among those 9 ratings was 3.91. So high marks all across the board, even though I don't think combined we've got a total of, no, we don't. Combined, we don't have a total of 1,000 ratings between the 2 listings at Untapped and the one on Beer Advocate. So, or 2,000. Yeah, we don't have a total of 2,000. So, this has got to be a fairly new beer. And for you IPA purists who believe that an IPA shouldn't be more than 30 days old, I'm well within. I'm or 90 days old. I feel confident that I'm within range on this particular beer. So there's the ins and outs of that. Want to give you one more quick note. There it is. Always be looking for, yeah, let's see if the glare is creating too great. It actually, there we go. Independent Craft, Brewers Association. When you see that little upside down bottle with the words Independent Craft, there we go. Independent. Gee whiz. Never gone through so much trouble to just try and, okay. There. There. Independent Craft, upside down bottle. Probably Nancy's going to put in uh, uh, the logo here in a second. She's got the logo for me to put up in the video, so I don't know why I went through all that trouble. Anyway, when you see that upside down bottle with the words Independent Craft, you know that you're drinking an actual craft beer and not a brewery that either formerly was craft or but then got bought out by a corporate consortium or was set up to look like a craft brewery, even though it's actually owned by a huge multi-billion dollar operation. So let's crack this bad boy open and see what we're dealing with here. We should be dealing with a hazy IPA. I'm going to be using my Tenaya Creek IPA glass. Tenaya Creek, one of my favorite breweries here in Las Vegas. If you're a fan of Tenaya Creek beer, maybe you get Tenaya Creek beer somewhere other than Las Vegas. Maybe you've never been to Tenaya Creek, but you should still check us out on Facebook, and our handle on Twitter is the Creek Geeks LV. I was going to get that out eventually. I knew I was. All right, let's get to pouring. See what we're dealing with here. Well, got a very nice golden color. I mean, really, that's a beautiful golden color. Lots and lots of carbonation coming through that. I've got to describe that as high carbonation, not even medium high carbonation. Unfortunately, gang, what you're seeing is at least 2 tints darker than the actual color of the beer. Um, but it's a strange. It's later than I normally do reviews, and the sun is in a different position, and so it's well, but even if that weren't the case, it probably would be coming through lighter. That carbonation is crazy, man. That is like Pilsner yeast kind of carbonation. Let me give this a quick beard wipe because I didn't notice anything pouring it. So, smell very citrusy, candy type of hops here. Put my schnoz in directly, see what I encounter. Very sweet, very hoppy, very citrus. It's like a candy orange kind of smell. Tangerine, actually, more than orange, I would say. Like candied tangerine. That head is very resilient. I mean, I don't see any bubbles popping. It ain't going nowhere. I mean, it is eventually dissipating and becoming part of the liquid, um, but that head is nice and sturdy. Well, I don't see any reason to keep yapping my flap. I'm going to drink some beer. Cheers. Okay, first impressions. Very hoppy. I'm going to describe that as a medium-low mouthfeel. A little bit of booziness, which kind of surprises me at a 6.5 that we'd have a pronounced alcohol burn, but there definitely is one. Hoppy bitterness followed with a mildly creamy finish, which is very nice. Pleasant sweet taste that is, well, as I said, it has a creamy finish, but it also has a dry finish. And I like that a lot. I like when you feel in the back of your throat that creaminess, but right on your tongue, that dryness that covers it, that makes you want to take another sip. I suppose that's a hazy IPA. I mean, it's mostly what it is super carbonated, so you can't hardly see through it in respect to that. I guess it's basically a hazy IPA. Um, okay, so overall impressions. I tell you what, if I wasn't so inundated with IPAs and an overly saturated market, I probably would have higher regard for this beer. The truth of the matter is, because there's been so damn many IPAs, and I apologize for that, guys, but that's what's been available. I mean, I'm always looking for the best deal, and a deal was available through a retailer in North Las Vegas on Losee Road. Um, Liquor lineup, great guys. Had a swell deal on Instagram. If you live here in Neon Valley, you should definitely be checking it out. But the deal was 14 beers for 55 bucks. I made an arrangement with him, got an extra beer. So in the end, I ended up paying $3.67 for this pint can as well as the other pint cans. Almost all of them, maybe with the exception of a total of 4 beers between 2 sets, have been, and I think it's closer to 3, have been something other than IPAs. The brewers are going crazy with IPAs. It's an oversaturated market, and but this is a good beer, and so I need to come down from my soapbox real quick and focus just on this beer. And this beer is a good beer. However, it is not an extraordinary beer, and it's not overly noteworthy. So I'd say the beer itself deserves a 3.75. For arriving in a can, it's going to get that extra 0.25, so when I go to log it in Untapped, I'll be giving it a 4.0. Um, it is a good beer, but it's just another example of, guys, brewers, please, move past IPAs. I'm begging you. There's so many different varieties of beer out there. I said I was going to step down from my soapbox, and here I am getting right back onto it, and I apologize for that. You're here to watch, a review and find out about this beer. You're not here to listen to some fat idiot scream about how there's too many IPAs on the market. This is a good beer, guys. I paid $3.67 for 16 ounces of it. It was worth it. Um, I'm going to recommend it. It's very good. I don't know if I'd really call that hazy, but I suppose that it would pass as hazy. It's not overly hazy. It's a hazy IPA. Well, guys, if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, drink good beer and don't break the bank doing it. Stay safe, stay home. Cheers.